And we found Dalton credit card statements showing that Henyard takes the detail with her even when she travels out of town, spending thousands of dollars on plane tickets, lodging, and meals for the officers. Mayor, why are you taking all the officers out of town with you? Isn't that a waste of taxpayers' money?
Let's go to this one right here.
Anything you want to say to defend yourself on this? As for the village's finances, trustees say Dalton is now getting sued by some vendors for failure to pay its bills.
In the last 2 fiscal years, we're $5 million in the hole. And a big
Jesus, $5 million in debt over a 2-year period under her watch, bruh. Impeachment papers if he get filed.
You are now listening to Pree Da Production with your host Majaro.
What is up, my tribal people? Welcome back to the Pree Da Production YouTube channel. I'm your tribal chief, Majaro, aka Midge, and welcome back to your favorite segment on the channel, Pree Da Video. And before we get into it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, because that goes a long way in helping us build this platform. And let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, my tribal people, and today we are going to be discussing a boss babe mayor from Dalton, Chicago. This is a story that I found quite fascinating. It's basically a story about how a recently appointed mayor has turned a whole township in America upside down by just outrageous spending decisions that make no sense. Absolutely no sense. It's like she's out here on a shopping spree, maxing out the credit card and that. It's wild. Let's have a look.
Can the Dalton Police Department afford to have this many officers attached to her detail?
We can. We really need them patrolling the streets.
So she's the part-time mayor of a south suburban village of a little more than 20,000 people.
Yet residents of Dalton are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars per year to provide security for their self-proclaimed super mayor.
Tonight, Fox 32 investigates Tiffany Henyard's security detail and the massive amount of overtime it is generating for a handful of officers. Our Dane Placco has more.
Hey guys, this is Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the people's mayor and people's supervisor.
Tiffany Henyard makes nearly $250,000 a year serving as both mayor of Dalton and Thornton Township supervisor, an elected political double dip. She's charismatic and controversial.
Nobody knows something. Don't nobody know nothing.
Here she is starting a Dalton Village board meeting dressed like the Wesley Snipes character in the movie New Jack City.
Hey, I gotta give it to the sister. She's got presentation. She knows how to work a crowd. She knows who her target audience is. I think the population is like 80% black. So she's out here with the black culture, pop culture references and that. Okay. She understood the assignment and she's fulfilling it still.
Later, punctuating her political points with the help of her own DJ.
Every single resident. Pay me what you owe me. Thank you, DJ.
And it's hard to turn anywhere in Dalton without seeing Henyard's picture, or online, where she recently commemorated 9/11 with her own photo. I want to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
But when we asked Henyard a few months ago about her use of tax dollars, she was quickly hustled out of the room by armed security. And on Facebook, in videos posted by Henyard herself, we see her being driven around and surrounded by Dalton officers, which got us to wondering, why all the cops?
Yo, she's moving like she's Princess Diana, you know? I swear Harry and Meghan were trying to get security details like this and they weren't able to get it. Like, what's she doing out here with a whole troop? A whole fleet of men? Rah, that's wild. Who's she running from? Who are her ops? I counted about 10 man deep. She's rolling with 10 man deep to every event. That's crazy. Unnecessary. Hey, she must have a lot of enemies still. I mean, they don't call it Chirac for no reason.
We weren't opposed to her having the security detail. We asked how long and how often.
Dalton trustee Brittany Norwood says Henyard began assembling her details shortly after being elected in 2021, using hand-picked Dalton police officers. Using a Freedom of Information request, we obtained the work records for 6 of the officers assigned to Henyard security detail at various times and showed them to some of Dalton's trustees. This is a Freedom of Information request we did to see how much overtime these officers are making on her security detail.
Oh, wow.
162 hours.
162. Oh, that's nothing. What goes through your mind when you see these numbers?
It's disappointing. It's frustrating.
The officers are paid every 2 weeks, which without overtime is 80 hours. But when they're put on Henyard's detail, that 80 hours balloons to well over 100 hours, sometimes 200 hours.
Yo, what are these men doing over a course of 200 hours over a 2-week period? Where is she going? Is she going to bomb disposal sites or something? Is she going to, like, crossfires in Ukraine or something? Like, what's going on? What is the reason?
What was the reason?
What is the reason for these wild expenditure on security? Who are you? What the hell? What is the reason? What is the reason? That's what I want to know. There's got to be some fraud going on here. There's got to be some creative accounting going on here, because it doesn't make any sense.
And in the case of Officer Terry Young last May, 303 hours worked over a 2-week period.
Bro,
that resulted in...
Is my man sleeping? 303.07 hours worked over a 2-week period. I swear there's only like 350 hours in a 2-week period anyways. Like, is this guy working the night shifts? Man's working the night shifts over at the mayor's yard, doing up sleepovers and that. Nah, there's gotta be some extracurriculars going on here, because that shit don't make no sense.
Single paycheck of more than $13,000.
Hey, yo, $13,000 over a 2-week period. That's more than most people making 6 months. That's crazy. No. What? For that amount of pay, there must be some casualties. There must be some bodies dropping. Because if no one's getting shot at, why are you paying them? Why can't you just travel discreetly? Hey, yo. Something stinks. Something stinks and I don't like it.
How does a person put in a 2-week pay period, 303 hours? That's impossible. That's impossible.
There's 336
Does he never go to sleep?
In fact, there are 336 hours total in 2 weeks, meaning Young was not being paid for only 33 hours.
Nah, they're definitely up to something. Man's not working for 3 hours in that 2 weeks. Man's putting in overtime at the mayor's yard, going in deep, going hard in the paint. That's what man's doing. I don't care. That's what Mr. Young is doing. Yo, and the thing is, they're not even trying to be clever with it. They're not even trying to be, let's, make it look reasonable. Let's not be going crazy. Yo, she don't care. She's like, yo, as long as my security got me, I'm good.
That period. Other officers on the security detail are also racking up overtime paychecks in the multiple thousands of dollars. Mayor, mind if I ask you a couple questions about your security detail?
Absolutely not.
I'm asking her.
Yeah, she says no.
A couple weeks ago, we tried to question Henyard about her detail as she went door to door in Dalton giving out water on a 100-degree day, surrounded by police, firefighters, public works employees, and 2 videographers documenting for Dalton's Facebook page.
I want to tell the people I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. I hope they post what we actually do here in the village of Dalton and stop telling lies.
But when we gave her an opportunity to explain the OT, Mayor, why do you need so many officers, details, or your security?
What did you say, water? It sounded like you said water.
Earlier that day, we watched as a Dalton cop drove Henyard from her other job at Thornton Township to a Mexican restaurant for lunch. Trustees say the security detail picks the mayor up at her home in the morning and is with her until she's dropped off at night, often taking her on errands and shopping. Does she need a security detail?
Absolutely not. Why? Why would you need a security detail?
Oh, she loves it. She just loves it. She loves the detail. I think it makes her feel as if she's like a superstar.
Dalton trustees have filed a lawsuit against Henyard, saying she's not justified the need for security and is spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on it without the board's approval.
Yo, how is this even going through payroll? Aren't there levels of authorization? Like, I know in certain companies that there's levels, checks, evidence, authorization. Like, isn't there someone above the mayor, like a governor? I'm pretty sure there's someone above a mayor. Like, the mayor can't be the head and be all. Like, where's the checks and balances? What's going on? If this is, it's crazy.
I see no justification whatsoever, and more than that, it's really a detriment to the residents of Dalton.
How so?
The residents, if we would take the same money and put it on officers patrolling the streets, then the residents will see a much better presence and public safety will be better.
We've had a few shootings, so we need the extra police patrolling our streets instead of patrolling her.
And we found Dalton credit card statements showing that Henyard takes the detail with her even when she travels out of town, spending thousands of dollars on plane tickets, lodging, and meals for the officers. Mayor, why are you taking all the officers out of town with you? Isn't that a waste of taxpayers' money?
Let's go to this one right here.
Anything you want to say to defend yourself on this? As for the village's finances, trustees say Dalton is now getting sued by some vendors for failure to pay its bills.
In the last 2 fiscal years, we're $5 million in the hole. And a big part.
Jesus! $5 million in debt over a 2-year period under her watch. Bruh. Impeachment papers if you get filed. Cause this is ridiculous. $5 million in 2 years. On security, planes and food.
It is the security detail.
It's embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. You don't see the governor with a detail as hers.
That lawsuit over the mayor's detail has not yet been settled. On Monday, we emailed a list of detailed questions to Henyard's spokesman, but never received a response. Dane Placco, Fox 32, Chicago.
And there's more. There's more fraudulent activities. This is just, when I found out that this was going on, this was just the tip of the iceberg. Spending money on, security, over-embellishing hours, over-embellishing pay, and, frivolous spending on posters and food, plane tickets, extracurricular activities. That's just a tip. There's even more fraudulent activities. She's even got a fake. Well, this is what I believe. This is just my opinion here. She's got a fake charity that she's funneling money to. She's using taxpayers' money to donate to her own founded charity. Make it make sense.
We are walking all over cancer on our way to Springfield. Make sure you support the cause, support the movement.
A South suburban politician spends taxpayer dollars on a march to Springfield to promote her personal charity. But when we started asking questions, the party's over.
Fox 32 and the Illinois Answers Project, part of the Better Government Association, are investigating the charitable foundation of Tiffany Henyard, who is on 2 public payrolls as Dalton mayor and Thornship Township supervisor.
What we found is raising serious questions about the use of taxpayers' dollars, employees, and equipment. Fox 32's Dane Placco investigates where all that money is going.
Henyard's picture and name adorn virtually every public posting, both from Dalton, where as mayor she makes $46,000 a year, and in Thornton Township, where as the elected supervisor she collects more than $200,000 a year.
What does a supervisor even do? How can you be a part-timer in both roles? What? She's gamed the system some way, somehow. Like, she must have been like the most prim and proper candidate when she was running. And now she's turned into the full-on villain. Mask off. Full-on mask off. She's turned into, I don't even know what female villains are there like that. I mean, that outfit makes it look like the woman from 101 Dalmatians. So, let's go with that. Is there a resemblance? Let's go with that.
For all that money, Henyard's tenure at both has been chaotic, with firings, scandals, and a legal battle with the Dalton trustees over spending. So last fall, Henyard did something that would seemingly generate some good publicity, helping establish the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation to help breast cancer patients. And on the very day the charity was chartered, it received a huge donation, $10,000, from the Thornton Township Board, which Henyard presides over.
Taxpayer money shouldn't be paid into those types of things.
Where are the checks and balances? How is this allowed to happen? I don't understand how a political system can be so easily gamed. This is even worse than putting your password up on your laptop desk. Like, is it that easy to crack the code? Bruh.
Stephanie Wiedemann is the former Thornton Township Chief of Staff whom Henyard fired shortly after taking over in March of last year.
It almost felt like a takeover, and a very aggressive one at that.
Since her firing, Wiedemann has been documenting township spending and says she's stunned by the taxpayer dollars funneled into Henyard's charity, especially this.
We got 10 days. We're going 196 miles.
Last October, Henyard led a delegation of Dalton and Thornton Township employees and political supporters on a march to Springfield to promote her breast cancer charity, which she documented on her Facebook page.
We're walking through Dalton. Hi, we're in Brightwood now. We are in Godly now. We in Bloomington, baby.
Wait, is this supposed to be a march and I'm seeing cars? It looks like she's riding a bike. What kind of tomfoolery is this? Yo, she's cutting corners. She don't care. She don't even care about what it looks like. She's like, hey, I'm getting paid for this. So I'm gonna use this credit card and I'm gonna go from A to B in the most lavish way. I'm gonna go bike, I'm gonna go on a boat, I'm gonna go on a plane, I'm gonna go to the train. Any which way, she doesn't care. This is what a boss babe is, yeah? Moving like that. Wow. She's got no shame. She's got no shame with it. She's flagrant. She's wicked with it. You know that.
Pretty much map out their entire Springfield trip on the township credit cards.
That's right. Henyard billed thousands of dollars in hotel rooms and meals during the trip to Thornton Township and Dalton credit cards. In addition, the videos show Henyard used multiple village and township vehicles owned by taxpayers to escort the caravan, including a flatbed trailer with a photographer, flying a drone, and a DJ.
We got our man right here coming from Dalton, Illinois, walking all the way to Springfield. Y'all make some noise for our man, the people's man.
But they didn't always walk.
We on motorbikes, baby.
At times, riding electric bikes.
Y'all see my bike?
Our town ship supervisor.
It looks like a myth. Not even push bikes. Not even rentals. Supermare. That's her own personal one, bruv. That's on the company credit card. That's on the taxpayer's dime. No wonder she fired that chief of staff, because if she was still employed, she would not be getting away with this like that.
Spending of tax funds, I think that's the biggest concern.
Dalton trustee Jason House has been doing battle with the mayor since she took office.
Very disturbing to hear these things or to kind of see some of the receipts that appear to be connected to it. And I think the taxpayers really deserve better than that.
And then there's the merch.
Here's a shirt. One of the t-shirts.
Along the way, Henyard sold and gave away t-shirts and hoodies, also available on her charity's website.
$30.
A week before the trip, the township paid $17,000 for specially printed hoodies and t-shirts, but won't say what they're for.
I think that everything she has initiated has been something to promote her. Something to get her name in household, something to get people to buy into voting for her.
Our investigation found at least $11,000 in public funds spent on that trip. But both Dalton and Thornton Township have been slow or unresponsive to open records requests. So what was the purpose of the 10-day march to Springfield?
I have created a bill, which we're going to speak before the Revenue Committee, to give everybody $5,000 on their income tax when they file, if you are suffering from cancer.
A noble goal, except the Revenue Committee wasn't meeting when the group arrived in Springfield. Henyard did later testify at a committee hearing in Chicago, but so far nothing has come of her bill.
I think I'm doing a damn good job on leave.
So we went to a recent Thornton Township Board meeting to ask Henyard some questions about all that spending.
I've never ever been bitter to the news. This is my olive branch to the media. Can you guys reach out to us and ask us our opinion before you post this?
Yo, she's working with the dark arts. She's playing the media. You know, just reach out to my office and we'll get back to you, sister. We've been reaching out for days, for months. Slow responses, no responses. Delay, deny. And then eventually she's just gonna go off like a whisper in the wind. Go off to another town, do the same crap, or try to go for another office. And I don't know what the end goal is. I'm so confused by this. I once thought the political system was a way of changing it. Changing the status quo, making things better, and from growing up in the real life, in the real world, this is not the case, because you got people like her. She's just brazen with it. But there's other people who aren't. There's people who are covert, people who take backhands. We all know the system's corrupt. In some way, shape, or form. You know, in developing countries and places that aren't seen as the top countries in the world, they're more brazy like this, spending money on X, Y, and Z and having no repercussions. Whereas some other places, like in the UK and America, apart from this place, it's a lot more subtle. You can't really find a paper trail. You can tell she's a rookie because there's paper trails everywhere. So people ain't gonna forget. So I don't know what the end goal is and what happens to her afterwards. I'm not gonna lie. Tiffany Henyard, I'm gonna be keep an eye out on what happens to your career, because she can't get away with this. She can't.
You can't keep getting away with this! You can't keep getting away with this!
I'll ask you a few questions.
Okay.
But Henyard wasn't anxious to talk about her charity. Why did you and the board vote to give your foundation $10,000?
I'm the face of the foundation. My name is nowhere, sir. I'm the face.
You're the face. What was the purpose of going to Springfield?
Thank you, guys. Hey, she doesn't have any more comments, guys.
We're going to talk.
She doesn't have any more comments. Thanks, guys.
That's Keith Freeman, whom Henyard hired at both Dalton and Thornton Township and was part of her Springfield walk.
Look at Keith, baby!
Freeman also filed paperwork for the charity bearing Henyard's name. Why are you using public money for your personal charity?
$17,000 for insurance. Why?
And with that, her security detail hustled Henyard upstairs and blocked the staircase with a table. So we tried asking another employee who went on that trip. You went down to Springfield, and what were you hoping to do in Springfield?
You need to ask the people that handles that. I'm not the one that handled it. I was just riding the bike.
We need more.
Yo, brother, what were you there for? I was just there riding the bike. Weren't you there for breast cancer awareness? Were you there trying to raise money or something? This stinks. This stinks. I used to think that people wanted to do good when they entered the office. But they just want to move was. Bruh. You know, I used to study government and politics at sixth form. And, you know, when you learn the political system, when you learn how to vote and all the various voting systems and, you know, politics, it's not about textbook how you get your words across to the people, how you make a message and how you make change. It's not even about how you make change. It's how you get into the office. It's not about how you campaign, and that's the real stuff. The stuff they were teaching me at sixth form, that was just textbook stuff. The way it's actually functions, it is the Wild West. It is kill or be killed. It is cutthroat. And you have to crush some eggs to get to the top. And once you're there, you can do whatever you want, it seems.
Officers on the streets, we need our streets repaved. So to spend that kind of money on a charitable event or supposed charitable event really doesn't seem like the best use of tax dollars.
Yo, that's enough. That's enough depressing stories, because imagine being in that district, in that town, and you're looking for government aid, or you're struggling financially and you see your mayor spending $17,000 on security guards that she don't need, $10,000 on her charity, $15,000 on merchandise that she's selling at $30 a pop for t-shirts, you know. How would you feel? You'd be absolutely shocked. You'd be depressed knowing that you potentially voted for that. Charlie. Yo. Something must happen. Something must happen. Let me know what you think about this whole foolishness. Do you feel like this boss babe is just being a boss babe? That's how it is. That's how these women move. This is how it is. This is what it means to be a super mayor. Moving like Cristiano Ronaldo and that in Saudi Arabia. Like, she's the queen of the town. Or do you think, yo, this is absolutely abhorrent. We need to tighten regulations. There needs to be checks and balances when it comes to mayoral and supervisor, township supervisor elections and powers. Like, in my opinion, this can't run. But make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
I be kidding on my foes, even though I got it all on my own. Success sweet, yeah.